Full and uncut versions available on Patreon. Check in the description below.
Greetings once again, Pokemaniacs. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with more of the Pokemon Adventures manga. Diamond, Pearl, Platinum story arc. Previously, Paka and Uji had finally caught up with Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. This happening after Platinum had her victory against the gym leader Maylene. Paka and Uji spirited away Platinum to a department store to hide her, only for the two bodyguards to encounter Team Galactic, trying to track down Platinum and ransom her for money. Meanwhile, Diamond and Pearl had their own run-in with Team Galactic, and the two pairs ended up fighting back to back. Paka and Uji taking a liking to Diamond and Pearl after finding out that the kids are on the up and up, even helping the pair's Pokemon evolve into their final evolutions of Torterra and Infernape. However, after a successful team-up, Saturn of Team Plasma traps Paka and Uji in an alternate dimension, or he sends them somewhere. I think maybe the Distortion World, but I'm not sure. Would make sense given the storyline of Diamond and Pearl. But before Paka and Uji are sent away, they request Diamond and Pearl to finish their mission. With Diamond and Pearl finally knowing the full breadth of what they're up against, they swear their lives to protecting Platinum in honor of Paka and Uji. But will the two end up in over their heads? Also, Platinum's Pokemon evolved into its final state, Empoleon, through training in the department store gym area, which, okay, not as epic as, Diamond and Pearl's Pokemon evolving in the midst of battle, but it is what it is. So let's see what happens next, shall we? Alright, Chapter 24, Bombastic Bibarel and Heroic Hippopotas. Alright, we pick up with our heroes walking through the rain on Valor Lakefront, although a sign says no entry. I wonder why it's all boarded up. Oh no, this is before the rain starts and then it comes down, because they're singing initially. Right, they're singing speeding, speeding o'er the land, flapping, flapping through the air. Then Pearl says, what the? And then rain starts coming down. Well, Platinum tries to get her umbrella out and Diamond and Pearl shield themselves with their bags. Pearl says, it's pouring. We better find cover fast. There's a building over there. Hurry! Diamond questions, is this a hotel? Can we stay here tonight? Platinum says, no. I already have a hotel in mind. It's near Route 214. I won't settle for anything less. Pearl questions, huh? Platinum, wiping down her Pokeball, says, it's the Hotel Grand Lake, the grandest hotel in all of Sinnoh. One night there will pick us right up. Agreed. Diamond, Pearl. Oh, Pearl and Diamond. Oh, she actually called them by their names. As she finishes wiping her Empoleon's Pokeball, Pearl says, whatever you say, lady. Diamond says, you got it, lady. It's weird that they still call her lady, but I think maybe they still think that's her first name. Pearl looks at a sign saying there's a restaurant this way. How about grabbing some lunch? And Diamond is all too excited saying, lunch! Platinum says, splendid. Pearl tells them, I'll go see if they have a table free. As he makes his way into the restaurant, someone is looking over from the top of the restaurant's deck, saying, I've got you now. He jumps down from the balcony and takes a print of Diamond and his Chatot footstep. The guy says, all mine. I did it. Captured the elusive Chatot's footprints. Chatot hears him, turns, but the guy's gone. Pearl questions, something wrong, Chatler? Is someone there? They pause for a moment. Pearl says, you're probably just seeing things. The man says, I'm just getting started. Who is this creep? Pearl says, excuse me, we'd like a table for 3, please. Oh, what the heck? And everyone in the restaurant stops eating and just glares at Pearl. Pearl says, what's with the battle vibe? Oh, is this one of those battle restaurants? Okay, so did those start here? Because I remember the battle restaurants. Or did that also become a thing? There were other places where those, battle restaurants became a thing. Was it also in Sun and Moon, or did they skip over and have it in Sword and Shield? I can't remember. Oh well. As a old couple send out Bibarel and Hippopotas, which, I'm gonna be real, I don't like those Pokemon. They're so doofy. Pearl says, yikes, hold on a sec. What's your problem? We're customers. The elderly woman says, oh, pardon us. The man says, "You must be new around here." The woman says, "This restaurant offers a venue for Pokemon battles as well as food. We are merely requesting a battle." "Sorry." The waiter says, "That's right. Patrons are welcome to stage battles here during business hours. We have a lot of regulars who come for our soup and battle special." The older man says, "The battles are just for sport." While another group we see battling, one says, "So close, almost won." While the girl says, "Yippee, now what'll I spend my prize money on?" Pearl thinks for a moment and says, "Prize money, huh? Lady's been generously covering all of our travel expenses, so we don't need any money. Still, it would be nice to have some cash of our own to spend however we like." Pearl races off saying, "I'm in. We'll have ourselves a double battle." The man says, "Wonderful." Pearl says, "All right." Pearl goes to the window saying, "Dia, get over here. We've got a battle to fight." Diamond says, "What?" And he slowly jogs in. I kind of love just watching him just jog inside. He says, "Sorry it took me so long." Pearl says, "All right, let's get this thing started. Chimler." And Diamond says, "True." Singing out Torterra and Infernape, which, gotta get Infernape in there. My favorites. See, this will be a lot more frequent now that it's evolved. A couple watching while they eat. Man says, "Oh, what a determined expression they have." The woman says, "This is going to be fun." The elderly gentleman says, "Allow me to begin. Hippopotamus, Santu." Alright, so a gentleman and a socialite. Gentleman Leonardo and socialite Rebecca. Okay, so gentleman Leonardo says, "Allow me to begin. Hippopotamus, Santu." Whilst Rebecca says, "Now me. Bi-barrel, water gun." Pearl thinks, I get it. They're kicking out dust and shooting Himmler with a stream of water. Too bad my Pokemon is too fast for him. As we see Infernape dodging Bi-Barrel's water attack. Pearl says, "Evade their attacks as you close in on them." And he tells Infernape to use Fury Swipes on Bi-Barrel. Pearl calls out, "Land the final blow, Dia." Diamond says, "You got it. True, go." And Torterra moves over towards Hippopotamus. And, oh my god, Diamond has him use Woodhammer right down on the Hippopotamus. Diamond and Pearl cheer as their victory is also cheered by the crowd. Leonardo and Rebecca shake Diamond and Pearl's hand, saying, "Thank you for a splendid battle." Pearl and Diamond high-five, Pearl saying, "Way to go, Dia." Diamond says, "Yeah." While we see Platinum clapping, the waiter says, "That was a fierce battle." Pearl says, "Thank you. But actually, our forte is comedy. Would you like us to perform our stand-up routine for you?" The gentleman says, "Yes, please." Diamond says, "Good idea, Pearl." Pearl says, "Speaking of Pokemon." Diamond says, "Speaking of Pokemon." Pearl says, "You discover so many unexpected things on the journey." Diamond says, "You sure do." Pearl says, "For example, we stumbled on this restaurant that doubles as an arena for Pokemon battles." Diamond says, "And my opponents sure are stuffed now." Pearl says, "How do you mean?" Diamond says, "Because I dished out so much damage." Pearl falls over. Meanwhile, Platinum's in the background, looking around and thinking to herself, all the sand and water from their battle has muddied the floor or something awful, but I must cross it. But as she gets ready to step across, the man from before comes bursting in saying, "No!" scaring Platinum, catching the attention of Diamond and Pearl. They call out for Lady, but the man says, "Don't move! Please, I'm begging you. Don't move, at least not until I've collected samples of all the footprints." Pearl questions, "Samples of footprints?" Diamond says, "Tears are running down his cheek, Pearl. Maybe we should hear him out." The man sets to collecting the samples of footprints, saying, "Oh, how wonderful. This must be Infernape's, mine. And this is Torterra's, mine. Yep. This expedition is turning out splendidly." Platinum seems to be intrigued by all this. Would be too if he didn't come off as such a bit of a weirdo. Pearl questions, what's with this guy? From the look on the regular customers' faces, this is not unusual. It's not unusual to collect Pokemon footprints. The waiter says, "Yep, happens all the time. He goes by the name of Dr. Footstep." Oh god. Got quite a collection. Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum proceed to follow Dr. Footsteps. Pearl saying, "Once again, ladies, unquenchable curiosity. Hey, we just passed Hotel Grand Lake." Diamond says, "Is leading us off track. In this case, to Dr. Footsteps' place. Children, please don't follow weird people to their houses." Well, Platinum seems excited, swinging arms, saying, "New experiences." Oh, she's cute. Dr. Footsteps opens his front door, saying, "Right this way." And as everyone looks in, they're shocked to see all the footprints lining the entire area. Dr. Footsteps says, what do you think of my collection? Platinum says, you weren't kidding when you said you collected Pokemon footprints. Dr. Footsteps says, yep, I gather, analyze, and research them. Footprints are nothing short of amazing. You can tell so much about a Pokemon from them. For example, oh yeah, I forgot, footprints did kind of start to become a big thing in the games, where you'd see a Pokemon and then what their footprints looked like. I had never really paid attention to that stuff too much, though. Dr. Footprint says, you can discern how happy these Pokemon were from the pattern of their steps. You can see how a battle unfolded based on the direction and weight of each foot of Pokemon's prints. You can even tell how well they get along with their trainer based on the distance between their tracks. I took the liberty of sampling your footprints along with your Chatos, and I could tell you two are very close. You can read a Pokemon's emotions based on their footprints. And Pearl smiles at Chatot. Platinum looks through his collection saying, do you have the footprints of every single Pokemon? Dr. Footprint says, alas, no. That's why I visit the battle locations regularly like today. There are plenty of Pokemon whose footprints I have yet to record in this area alone. I'm glad I managed to snag Hippopotas today. If only I could get Hippowdon's. There's a sudden growl that Diamond and Pearl catch wind of. Pearl asking, do you hear a growl just now? Footsteps says, what? Could it be? What? How the heck? He steps outside and there's a Hippowdon just walking through. Footsteps says, could it be? Yes, I've done it. I've captured a Hippowdon's footprints. Pearl questions, how did you do it, Dr. Footstep? Footstep says, easy. I just poured a special liquid all around my house to catch passing Pokemon. Worked like a charm. Pearl says, I'm happy for you, but judging by the sound of that growl, I think Hippowdon is pretty mad. The Hippowdon starts blasting out steam. Diamond says, the Hippowdon, it blasts sand from the holes along its body. He brings up his Pokedex, which says, Hippowdon, the heavyweight Pokemon. It blasts internally stored sand from parts on its body to create a towering twister for attacks. And it says it creates a towering twister of sand, and everyone gets caught up in said towering twister. Okay. End of the chapter. All right. Well, dang. Yet again, they found themselves just haphazardly caught up in another situation. All right, chapter 25, Dramatic Drapion and Crafty Cricketune, part 1. All right. As Hippowdon blasts away footsteps in our trio, Thomas says, speaking of Pokemon, some of them can make tornadoes. That Hippowdon just blew a twister. Footsteps says, personally, I can't even blow up a balloon, but I can twist and shout. Pearl says, quit making puns. What's happening to us? After being blasted away by Hippowdon, they hit the ground hard. Man, these poor kids' backs. Pearl gets up, rubbing said back, saying, ow, it blasted us all the way out here. Oh, the lake that they probably weren't supposed to be near. Oh, did they get separated? We see footprints with Pearl as they overlook the lake. Pearl saying, huh? Where are we? At the seaside? No, wait, no, this is a giant lake. Wow, what a view. It's so vast it looks like a mirage. Doesn't it look like an illusion, Dia? But he then realizes and looks around saying, huh? Dia, lady? Footprint says, of footsteps. It seems we got separated by the tornado. I don't see hide nor hair nor footprint of them. Pearl drags away footsteps saying, you gotta help me find them. Dr. Footstep, you're the one who provoked the Hippowdon in the first place. Meanwhile, on another side of the lake, Platinum and Diamond come too, being helped up by their Pokemon. Platinum says, where are we? We got dropped at the edge of a lake? Diamond says, I think you're right, lady. Platinum says, where's Pearl and Dr. Footstep? Diamond says, they must have gotten dropped somewhere else. Platinum says, if we follow the shore, we should have run into them. Diamond says, good plan. And they make their way. We very rarely get just the two of them. The two actual, main characters of the game. Diamond then says, hey, lady. He says, yes, Diamond? Diamond says, lakes always remind me of a strange memory. Platinum questions, a memory? Diamond says, from when I was really little. Pearl and I grew up in Twin Leaf Town near Lake Verity. This happened way back when we were still in kindergarten. A pair of famous comedians came to perform at our school. Abbott and Clef. Abbott, Clef, and Costello Jiggly. Ugh, I really hate those names. You never seen a stand-up routine before. It was hilarious. Emma says, have you heard of the Lake of Rage near Mahogany Town in the Johto region? Costello says, yes, I've heard of it. Eva says, there's a rumor that a red Gyarados lives in that lake. I went there to catch it. Costello says, wow, did you have any luck? Eva says, well, I didn't find a red Gyarados, but I did catch this red Magikarp. Costello says, wow. There's a pause, and then Costello says, wait, all Magikarp are red. Diamond and Pearl break out laughing, little babbies. Costello says, you silly. Yeah, that is some very juvenile comedy, but it's not terrible. Wait, weren't Diamond and Pearl gonna perform that same routine at some point? I could have sworn. Yeah, wasn't that like the first joke they were about to tell? Meanwhile, with the little babby Diamond and Pearl says, hey, Dia. Diamond says, yeah, Pearl? Diamond says, those funny guys said there's a red Gyarados in a Johto lake. Let's go see it. Diamond says, yeah, I want to see a red Gyarados. Pearl says, I bet there's one in Lake Verity across town, too. Diamond says, let's go there. Come on. And they make their way. So if they were in kindergarten, right? They're probably around like 5 years old or so. Considering the time frame of Johto in the manga, they should be around the same age as Ruby and Sapphire? Yeah, they should be around the same age as Ruby and Sapphire then, I think. I know we don't really get any concrete time frames, but they'd probably be about 5 years younger than... maybe 5 years younger, or a little bit more so than Silver. Give or take maybe a couple of years? I don't know. It's hard to say. Because then again, that's not even a guarantee that time frame would really match up. I know I was told not to really concern myself with that, but my mind immediately went there. I can't really help it. All right, we see the two young babies heading for Lake Verity. Diamond's narration says, so we headed for Lake Verity, but we were only... 4 years old. Okay, so they were 4. So Silver would be 17 by now? But stuff plays out of order from what I remember being told. So the next one we see them, I guess Gold and Silver should be somewhere between 16 and 18? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Diamond says, I got separated from Pearl in the darkness, just like now, actually. I thought for sure I'd find Pearl if I just kept walking along the shore of the lake. So I kept going and going. And all of a sudden, oh, it's one of the Lake Guardians. Which one is that? Mess Spirit? One of the Emotion Trio. Or, is that what they were called? The Lake Guardians, I know, but there was some kind of other name for them. Wild. So it says, a burst of light flashed from the island in the center of the lake. A second later, it was gone. We must have blacked out. Pearl's dad came looking for us. He found us both. So now whenever I see a lake, I remember that weird light. I still wonder what it was. Platinum questions, what does Pearl think? Diamond says, oh, I didn't tell Pearl about it. Platinum questions, why not? Diamond says, don't know. Maybe because I thought it might have just been a dream. Platinum then asks, why are you telling me about it if you've never told your best friend? Diamond says, good question. I don't know. Okay, they're definitely going to meet the Lake Guardians at some point, but I do wonder why he never told Pearl about this. Cut to Pearl and Dr. Footsteps. Footsteps says, my word, this is... And Pearl gets angry saying, Dr. Footsteps, where's your sense of priorities? You have to find Tien Lady. Footsteps, quiet. Look, these are the footprints of Staravia. It appears to be worked up about something. And where there's a Staravia, there's bound to be a Staraptor too. Pearl says, you're seriously going to collect footprints at a time like this. Footsteps says, but I've been searching for a Staraptor's footprints forever. Pearl says, that's not my problem. The Footsteps says, there it is, as he finds it in the sky. He then sets down a blanket saying, come on down, Staraptor. Step right on to this special sticky sheet laid out for you by nice Dr. Footsteps. Pearl says that won't work. But Staraptor spots him and heads down. Footsteps says, give me a print of those beautiful talons of yours. While Pearl says, yikes, it's actually coming down. And it floats over the papers. Footsteps says, There we go, just a little further. Almost there, come on. And then Staraptor takes footsteps and flies off. Pearl says, what the? Go, Shimler! Infernape grabs on the footsteps and holds him down, as well as Pearl helping out. Pearl says, it's so strong. It's lifting all of us. Pearl brings up its Pokédex, which reads, Staraptor, the predator Pokemon. The muscles in its wings and legs are very strong. It can easily fly while carrying a small Pokemon in its talons. Pearl says, according to my Pokédex, the wings and legs are very strong. Footsteps says, what's that device for? Looks handy. Incredible. It even has a picture of Staraptor's footprint. Let me see that. What other Pokemon footprints does it have? Pearl says, please, doctor, please. Now's not the time. As they're suddenly lifted off the ground, of course. Yeah, I thought so. So, yeah. By this point, Footsteps were also in the Pokédex too, as Footsteps, Infernape, and Pearl are all carried away by Staraptor. Dang, that's a strong Pokemon. Footsteps is actually trying to get Staraptor's footprints too. Pearl says, this day can't get any worse. But Footsteps says, oh, don't be so down in the mouth. At least I've collected some footprints, or should I say landing gear prints, since they're from a flying type Pokemon. Pearl says, I'm not laughing. I got an idea. Dr. Footprint, you said you can figure out what a Pokemon's thinking by reading its footprints, right? Footprint says, yes. Pearl says, so tell me, what is this Staraptor thinking right now? Footstep looks at Staraptor's print saying, let's see. I'm tired of this game. It's about time I drop them. And then Staraptor looks back at them and grins. That's kind of messed up. But it might be one of those predators that drops his prey in order to take him out and then picks at the body afterwards. Footsteps says, that's what the footprint says. Pearl panics, saying, don't do it, Staraptor, please don't. But a Staraptor flies off the handle and drops us from up too high. Footsteps says, I'm not laughing. Pearl says, that wasn't meant to be a fun. While Chadots try to talk Staraptor out of this, Pearl says, if you're going to drop us, at least don't do it in the lake. I got an idea. Staraptor, please drop us off on dry land on that island in the middle of the lake. Meanwhile, Diamond and Pearl hear a voice and look around. Diamond says, lady, did you hear voices just now? Platinum says, oh, I said Diamond and Pearl. Diamond and Platinum. Platinum says, yes, perhaps they're closer than we thought. Suddenly something lands next to them, and the person says, hold it right there. Oh, two scientists with a Drapion and Cricketune. Alright, they weren't supposed to go near the lake. Oh god, is this another Team Galactic front? The scientist says, what are you doing here? The scientist says, Lake Valor is strictly off limits. Didn't you see the sign out front? That says, oh, so this is Lake Valor. The scientists say, how did you get here anyway? We only have the one entrance and our security is very tight. Who are you? Oh, they grab Platinum, saying, we're taking you in for questioning. The Platinum removes her hand from the scientist's grasp. Scientist says, you dare to resist us? Platinum says, we got caught in a tornado on Route 213. We were dropped here by accident. You have no grounds for questioning us. The scientists say, we'll decide whether we have grounds or not. Platinum argues back, we're just looking for a lost friend. That's the only reason we're here. We'll leave the moment we find our friend. Furthermore, this lake doesn't belong to anyone. What gives you the right to deny entry to it? The scientists say, we have orders from the representative of the Cosmic Energy Development Corporation, a Mr. Cyrus. According to Cyrus, we're not supposed to allow anyone to access the lake. You got a problem with that? Jeez, and using their Pokemon to threaten everyone. Like, this is some strong-arming tactics right here. Diamond says, stand back, lady. Alright, it looks like it's a fight. Alright, chapter 26, Dramatic Drapion and Crafty Cricketune, part 2. The scientists say, Cyrus will have our head. We've got to make sure he doesn't find out a couple of kids got through our security. Diamond shouts, stand back, lady. Lax, take this rock. And Munchlax uses the rock to fend off Cricketune slicing attacks. Although Cricketune does manage to slice through the rock Munchlax was holding. The scientists say, think you can handle it now? He's got really creepy there all of a sudden. The Diamond then says, go, True, stop them. And Torterra comes out to face Cricketune. Because of Torterra's hide, Cricketune can't easily get through it. Diamond says, how do you like that? The scientists say, huh? What? You're proud of stopping it with Torterra's hard shell? I guess you think Cricketune's arms are just for cutting, huh? Diamond questions this, and Cricketune is, squeezing its pincers against Torterra's shell. The scientists say Cricketoo's arms might look like knives, but they can do something even better than slicing and dicing. Cricketoo's arms can make beautiful music. Platinum is shocked as she looks at her Pokedex, which reads, Cricketoon, the cricket Pokemon. It crosses its knife-like arms in front of its chest when it cries. It can compose melodies ad lib. Okay. Platinum calls out Diamond. Look out. Cricketoons improvises melodies from scratch. That tells him nothing, the scientist says. Now you're catching on, and those songs can make great lullabies. He tells Cricketoon to use Sing, which immediately drops Torterra. Diamond goes over saying, No, True, don't fall asleep, while Munchlax is running from the Drapion, and I would too. Those things are freaky. Platinum calls out, now Drapion is making its move. Munchlax dives behind a tree to get away from Drapion's claws, but Drapion easily cuts through the tree Munchlax is behind. Diamond says, but it barely nicked it. Lax, hide in his blind spot. And so Munchlax dives under Drapion's butt, essentially, coming up from behind. But Drapion seems to be able to move its head 360 degrees, which, God, leave it to the manga to make a Pokemon that already kind of freaked me out a little bit even more freaky. I do not like Drapion. And not so much in a I hate it kind of way, more of a it's a little freaky. I don't know what it is about Drapion, but it freaks me out. Weird scorpion bug thingies, but now that it's found Munchlax goes for a strike again, but Munchlax dives out of the way. Scientist says, fools, Drapion can rotate its heads 180 degrees. I said 360 before, didn't I? I meant a 180. And it has no blind spots. As Platinum watches from behind a tree, she says, blades everywhere. It's too dangerous for close combat. We have to fall back, Diamond. She brings out Ponyta underneath Diamond, and she recalls Torterra, which, should she be able to do that? Or did she just grab the Pokeball from Diamond? I wonder. As they race off, Platinum says, the scientists say, don't let them get away, after them. Diamond says, lady, I get that we need to put some distance between us, but isn't it a bit weird that I'm riding Ponyta and you're running on the ground? Platinum says, only one of us can ride Ponyta at a time. I give it instructions to make some headway. You're the one doing the fighting, so you're kind of protecting me, right? Diamond takes this in and says, right, with a smile. Oh, there's such a sweet camaraderie amongst them that just is why I love groups. And I really love that they're really making that shine through. Diamond thinks to himself, they're catching up quick though, and we're going as fast as we can. If we could just move a little faster. True's down for the count. Lax isn't strong enough all on its own, running out of time. If only there was some way I could take them both out with the same attack. He then calls out to Munchlax, and then Munchlax just starts throwing berries. Although Cricketoon and Drapion manage to slice through him, though some of the berries do hit the scientists. The scientists say, what's this? Berries? And Munchlax is throwing food hidden in its fur. Berry salad won't stop us. Diamond says, oh no, it didn't work. Only for Ponyta to trip over a rock and fall, leaving everyone prone. The scientists say this is the end. They have Drapion use Crosspoint and Cricketoon use X-Scissors. Oh, but suddenly there's a blinding light over on the island in the middle of the lake, which catches Drapion off guard. Diamond uses the opportunity, saying now, and Munchlax uses Rollout, hitting Cricketoon, Drapion, and the scientists hard. And then the scientists are all bound up, their Pokemon back in the balls. Wow, just like that. And shoot, Rollout is stupid powerful. Took one Rollout attack and bam, everyone's down. That's insane. And it says, the burst of light from that island saved us. If it hadn't blinded them, we'd be goners. Then tells Platinum, look, we see Pearl and Dr. Footsteps swimming over from the lake. What was that light? I thought it was one of the Guardians. The Diamond says, there's Pearl and Dr. Footsteps. As Pearl makes his way out of the water, he says, phew, never believe what we've been through. First we got dropped on the middle of the island, then what? The Pearl says, huh? Who are those men? What's going on? As he sees the tied up scientists. Diamond says, first this, then that, and then Pearl says, so these guys attacked you out of the blue. Really? They're villains without a doubt. I'm glad he got that from all that. The Dr. Footprint says, you can tell from their Pokemon's footprints. Let's see. Why do I always have to work so hard? I would have stayed free in the wild if I'd known things would be like this. It's clear that this Drapion is unhappy, and Drapion nods within its Pokeball. Dang. See, you never really get the insight into Pokemon's thoughts when they're working for bad people. It's just like, man, I thought I'd have an easier life with an owner. Which, from that perspective, most Pokemon you would think, it's just like, yeah, you'd have an owner because it feels like, hey, they feed you. You no longer have to go foraging if you don't want to. But then you end up with trainers who work like a slave force, and it's just like, I know it would be like this, I would have stayed in the wild. That's a nice little insight. Footprint says, as for this Cricketune, I actually kind of want to know what the Cricketune is thinking. But Pearl gets mad, saying, we get the idea, Dr. Footsteps. But Diamond then says, hey Pearl, you got saved by a burst of light from that island over there. You were on the island when it happened, right? What was that light from? Pearl pauses and then says, I don't remember any light. And it says, oh. Pearl says, nope, didn't see it. Is he lying? Something's not right there. Something doesn't seem right there. I don't know what it is. But Pearl wouldn't lie to Diamond. But then again, see, I'm thrown because the idea of Diamond keeping something from Pearl, even if it's not like malicious, it's still odd. Pearl then says, you did great, lady. Good job. Platinum says, I did. I do say so myself. It was hard work. That's why I'm so tired now. And then she falls asleep. Dang. Never seen that before. I mean, she's been through some pretty intense situations. It's odd for her to just fall asleep out of the blue. Oh, she then wakes up. She then finds herself in a sleeping bag next to her Empoleon, saying, what? This is the same place where we were yesterday. I'm in a sleeping bag? I camped out last night, but I planned to stay in the luxurious Hotel Grand Lake. I was going to reserve a special suite with a view of the sunrise over Lake Valor and everything. It's purported to be the most stunning vista in the whole Sinnoh region. But Empoleon sees something and tugs at Platinum. Platinum says, what is it, Empoleon? And they see the view over the lake, which is actually very nice, all things considered. Platinum says, the cool breeze, the chirping of the flying type Pokemon, the gentle lapping of the waves, the heady scent of flowers. We're so lucky to have the luxury of experiencing all these natural wonders, Empoleon. Yeah, hey, one thing she's never experienced, but she was never really interested in, camping. What do you know? Suddenly her Pokedex starts beeping, meaning, and sure enough, here comes Diamond and Pearl. Pearl saying, good morning, lady, and Diamond calling out lady as he holding a boiling pot. He says, we let you sleep in. Pearl says, we let you sleep in. Diamond says, you look so peaceful you didn't want to wake you up. Here's have some of my tasty soup. Pearl says, how about a stand-up routine to wake you up? Pearl says, a lot happened at Lake Valor, huh? Diamond says, it sure has, but with the sunrise, things are quiet at last. Pearl says, at least we've got a peaceful break from it all. Diamond then says, yep, nothing like a piece of breakfast. And he starts scarfing down rice. Platinum says, what happened to Dr. Footsteps? Pearl says, oh, I guess you were fast asleep when he left. He took those two bad guys with him, said he'd turn them into the police. Also, he gave us this for our trip home. A footprint ribbon. I would have said, nah, you can keep that. I feel like that has some weird implications. He said he could tell how close we are to our Pokemon by looking at their footprints. He gave us this ribbon as a confirmation. Platinum says, how wonderful. I feel like I've heard of that before. That being close to your Pokemon and an example of that seen by someone else would give you some kind of prize. I can't remember who else in the previous games would do that, though. But that definitely feels familiar. I wonder, that feels so familiar to me. Oh well, as our trio make their way, Pearl says, meanwhile, we strayed far off course. Let's hurry up and get to the next route. When unbeknownst to everyone, Pearl looks away from the map and looks back to the island in the center of the lake. Yeah, he saw something, but why doesn't he want to tell the others about it? Meanwhile, who should we see? And to just have it so off course, one of my favorite Pokemon, Weavile. Yep, I like Sneasel and I like Weavile, but they come from two different generations, so I actually get to, keep them as separate, enjoyable things. I just hate that it's so just off to the side. But we see Dr. Footprints trailing behind the Weavile saying, "Wait up, Weavile, I want your footprints, mine, all mine," as he drags the scientist behind him, the scientist saying, "Please, just take us to the cops already." Aw, would have liked if they caught a Weavile. Alright, and now the last chapter of this video and the volume, a scuffle with Scorupy, which isn't that the pre-evolution of Drapion? It's weird to get its pre-evolved state after just getting its evolved state. Oh, we pick up with Diamond looking through some binoculars and spotting a Carnivine. You think I would remember that a little bit easier considering James had one in the anime, but Diamond says, I see it. It's but suddenly the binoculars go dark. Diamond says, this coin-operated telescope runs out of time so quickly. Let's see, I've got more change somewhere. Yeah, it runs out quickly because they want your money. He then says, it's a good thing we've got all this spare cash. Dude, don't waste it on friggin' binoculars. Pearl comes up the stairs to the viewing platform saying, hey, Dia, why are you going to use that thing? Our train is about to leave. Diamond says, coming. Pearl then says, speaking of Pokemon. Diamond says, speaking of Pokemon. Pearl says, sometimes we travel by train with our Pokemon. Diamond says, yep. And sometimes we train our Pokemon by travel. That's so silly. As they make their way to the train where Platinum is waiting, an announcement coming over the speaker. Area 6, 1:30 p.m. Great Marsh Quick Tram will be departing shortly. Platinum says, everyone aboard. Come on, Pearl. Diamond. Pearl says, coming, lady. Diamond says, right behind you. I like that she calls them by name now. And they really make a note to show you that she does it more regularly now. Again, that friendship. As they board the train and sit in their seats, an announcement says, Quick Tram now departing. And the tram takes off. Diamond and Pearl and Platinum look out the window, saying, wow, amazing. Pearl says, so this is the Great Marsh of Pastoria. It's huge. I can't believe we have to take a train just to get from one part of the marsh to the other. And it says, yeah, crazy, huh? The narrator says, continuing their journey, our three heroes find a route back to Mount Cornet that leads them through Pastora City. Pastoria, I feel. Platinum says, is it really that unusual? I take a personal train just to travel within my mansion. What the really? Pearl hits his head against the glass and thinks he ended up here thanks to Lady's insatiable curiosity. And he got triggered the second she got set foot in this town. He couldn't wait to challenge the gym leader. Oh, Carré defeated Rourke, Gardenia, and Maylene in gym battles. And we see Platinum in the flashback saying, Jim. Oh God, Crasher Wake without his mask. Why would you show me that? We see inside the gym Crasher Wake doing squats saying 982, 983. Platinum comes up saying, excuse me, I'm looking for a gym battle. Crasher Wake turns saying, what's that? A gym battle, you say? In that case, the several sailors come out of nowhere saying, no, don't do it, Wake. You don't have your mask on. Please permit me to explain. Put your mask on over here. Welcome to Pastoria Gym. Gym leader Crasher Wake is a formidable challenger. His Pokemon might overwhelm an untrained Pokemon. Let's see what you've got. And as Platinum brings out her Empoleon and Ponyta, the sailor says, is that all? Well, they don't look weak, but do you know which Pokemon type Crasher Wake specializes in? Platinum says, no, I don't. And out of the water suddenly comes Crasher Wake riding a Gyarados with a Floatzel and a Quagsire? Quagsire, yep, that's a Quagsire. And because Gyarados, yeah, nice. I haven't had to whip out a Gyarados in a hot minute. I should have brought it out a little while ago because of the red Gyarados thing. The seller says, behold, Crasher Wake, master of water-type Pokemon. Their torrential master who can bring anything to a standstill with mere water. Crasher comes out saying, I'm Crasher Wake! Pearl is taken aback, while Diamond says, wow, you're that old guy who was doing squats over there just now. And Crasher's just laughing while Sarah says, no, he's not. I have no idea what you're talking about. Well, I wonder why Crasher cares more about it. I mean, why do the sailors care more about it than Crasher does? The sailor says, anyway, do you understand how this works now? Platinum says, yes, grass has an advantage over water. Sarah says, precisely. So prepare for your gym battle by venturing out into the Great Marsh and procuring some grass-type Pokemon. I actually like the fact that they just want to be like, hey, we want to make sure you can actually win this. Like, Like, we want to make sure you're rounded enough to take this on because you have none of the typing needed for this, which is very true. Then again, Platinum did borrow Monferno for the battle against Maylene, so just borrow Torterra. The Platinum questions the Great Marsh. The sailor says, "My point is," Platinum says, "Oh, I see. Come on, let's go. Hurry up, we've got to get to the Great Marsh. More experiences, she says as she heads out, while Diamond listens to the sailor and Crash awake. The sailor saying, "Wake, you swore you wouldn't reveal her secret identity to outsiders. Who cares?" Wake says, "Sorry, the second I heard the words gym battle, I couldn't help myself." I like this guy. I never encountered Crash Awake in the anime. He kind of throws me off a little bit because I'm just like, I do not remember you. I do not know you very well. But he seems like a nice enough guy. It just was weird seeing him without his mask all of a sudden. But cut to the present day where our trio has arrived at the Great Marsh in the train. The announcer saying, "Last stop." Arriving at Area 1, last stop. Oh, we see our trio exiting the train saying, "Area the Great Marsh is home to all sorts of rare Pokemon. It's full of them. Pastoria City was built to protect the Great Marsh. And while its main purpose was to protect the Great Marsh, the city also began holding a special event to entertain visitors who wish to capture Pokemon here. It's called a safari game." Oh, so it's like the Safari Zone. Okay, that's interesting enough. Oh, there's a safari area in multiple regions. Safari Zone in Kanto, Safari Zone in Johto, in Hoenn, and in Sinnoh. Oh, but this is the last of the Safari Zone. I did not know that. I don't remember seeing any of them in any other media. The only time the Safari Zone was made a big deal was in the Kanto region in the anime and the manga, and that was about it. Because in the anime, that's where Ash caught all them Doros. Although the Safari Zone stuff was kind of cut out because of reasons there. But Red also caught all those, what was it? He caught Victory Bell, right? And he caught Nidoqueen. Red caught a lot of Pokemon in the Safari Zone. But I don't know if he kept any of them. Because we never see any of the Safari Zone Pokemon again as far as I know. But we see Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum in some, what do you call them? Oh, kind of like those high water pants like thingies. Platinum says, "Let's go have some fun capturing Pokemon." As they make their way through the marsh, Platinum says, "Use the telescope on the viewing platform to find out where the Pokemon were after are. We paid our fare to take the train here. Now all we have to do is slog through this boggy marsh." Oh, so she wants a Carnivine. Okay. As soon as we find a Pokemon in these reeds and tools, but she encounters a wild Skorupi. And that would be wild if she ends up with a friggin' Drapion of all things. But we see a Skorupi. That's what it's called, right? Skorupi? Making its way through the tall grass. Platinum says, "All we need to do is take out a special Safari Ball we bought and throw it. It hits the Skorupi and it bounces right off." Platinum says, "Hey." The Skorupi takes off. Platinum says, "Oh, drat, it got away." Platinum says, "What did you expect, lady? We've been traveling. This is our first time trying to capture a wild Pokemon." Yeah, that's what kept kind of getting on my nerves to a little degree. I'm not saying I was mad about it. It's just like, it's weird that y'all ain't really trying to catch any Pokemon. I get it. That's not really what they're about, but I don't know. I expected them to at least try. Platinum says, "Good point." Pearl says, "We only have 30 Safari Balls. When we run out, we'll have to leave, so let's use them strategically." There's a rustling in the brush as a Budew makes his way. Pearl says, "There's another one." Diamond says, "First off, don't just throw the Safari Ball. Try using a special bait we brought." And he hands it over, Platinum saying, "Good idea." She throws out the bait and the Budew starts eating it. Diamond says, "All right. It took the bait." Pearl then says, "That ought to make it a little easier to catch. Try it, lady." Platinum throws the ball saying, "Got it," and catches the Budew. Pearl says, "Yes," but then Budew breaks free. Pearl saying, "Oh no, failed again." Dang, that's a little too simple. I mean, usually it's not that hard to catch a Pokemon. Pearl says, "Don't be discouraged by one or two failures." Platinum says, "Okay." They try to catch a Marill, and it escapes. They try to catch a Hoot, but it escaped. They try to catch a Barboach, and it escapes. Pearl says, this is harder than it looks. At least we're getting the hang of this. We've practiced baiting them, throwing mud at them. Platinum seems to be in a bit of distress. As Pearl says, lady, what's the matter? Platinum says, some mud splashed in my eye. Oh, I'm glad she's not afraid to get dirty. Pearl throws some goggles, saying, here, put on some goggles, slapping them over her face, but she still seems a bit dejected. Diamond says, I feel sort of bad for her. But Pearl says, me too. When she's unhappy, it's as awful as it is wonderful when she's happy. Aww. It's like having a little sister that you just want to help out no matter what. Pearl says, how many safari balls do we have left, Dia? Diamond says, let's see, only 3 balls between us. Dang, I ran through that many balls? Jeez. Platinum says, gotta capture a Pokemon. I'll be happy with just one grass-type Pokemon. But suddenly she sinks into the marsh, saying, huh? What? Pearl questions, lady, what's wrong? Platinum says, I can't move. Pearl says, here, I'll save you. And then he gets stuck. Diamond says, Pearl, lady, are you all? And he gets stuck. Dang. Platinum says, this mud is so deep, I'm completely stuck. Pearl says, me too. Diamond says, me 3. Pearl questions, all of us? How are we going to escape then? Diamond says, the more I struggle, the deeper I sink. Platinum says, don't say things like that. But Pearl tells her, keep calm, lady. Actually, there's something else I worry about besides getting out of this muck. What if a wild Pokemon attacked us while we're stuck? Platinum says, let's stay very still. Pearl says, that might work, but these wild Pokemon tend to hide in the brush and trees on the shore. It might look like a plant, but in reality it could be a Pokemon. They're well camouflaged out here. And sure enough, here comes Carnivine trying to take a bite out of Chatot and Munchlax who are waiting on the shore. Meanwhile, back at the gym, the sailor asks, what are you doing? As Crasher Wake is scrubbing something. He says, preparing. My challenger will be here any minute. I want this place to be spotless. Okay, turn on the water hose. Float that bridge. Dum-de-dum-dum. You see him without his mask. Oh, that's the end of it. Okay, I won't lie. Dr. Footstep, not my favorite character. Just saying. I didn't know if I'd enjoy Trickmaster either, but he actually became a really fun and interesting character. So that he grew on me, but I don't see Dr. Footstep actually becoming someone really important to me. But this situation at the lake, that just something just ain't right there. And it's odd that they're keeping secrets from each other. Now, maybe it's only just now we're really starting to see the flaws in their friendship, but the way they keep secrets are very interesting. Diamond does so, but it's more of an absent-minded kind of situation, while Pearl seems to have some kind of, how to put it, it's almost like he saw something he doesn't want to trouble the others with kind of situation. There's no maliciousness behind it, but it's easy to see how it could be misconstrued. Same thing with Diamond. So I don't know. I don't want a lot of tension between the group, but I can see where that could come in because one of the strongest aspects of this group is their camaraderie and their closeness that's been really growing over time. But there's also the fact that Platinum is also kind of left in the dark about the situation going on with Diamond and Pearl being her bodyguards, and the fact that they weren't really technically her bodyguards before. There's a lot going on here. I like that they definitely are taking that aspect of keeping her safe more seriously. Like they really do prioritize her safety. But I also like that they haven't changed so much of the things they want her to pursue. There's still that, how to put it, there's still that feeling that they want her to grow, develop, and become someone better for the future. I really enjoyed that. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also remember to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and hope to see you later. So then, take care. Bye-bye.